of shapeshifting is a part of pretty much all our favorite magical stories, from classics like Harry Potter to more recent ones like Wednesday. But unlike what we see in TV and movies, many fear that the so-called real shapeshifters in this world are here to do nothing more than take over the world and ruin our lives. Dun dun dun. Welcome back everyone, thanks for tuning in to another Top 5 Scary. My name is Kennedy and buckle up because today we are in for a whole bunch of crazy and a whole bunch of conspiracy. And what's more fun than that, right? From shapeshifters in the alien lizard race to ones with a little more of mysterious origins, we are diving deep into the conspiracy whirlpool with the top 5 unexplained shapeshifter sightings we can no longer ignore. Are you ready? I don't think you are. Starting us off at number 5 is the late Queen Elizabeth II. Now, before I do a deep dive into this list, let me just make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to the alleged alien lizard race that takes up most of our shape-shifting sightings today. There are many out there who believe our world is infested with an entire race of alien lizards who came down from the constellation Draco and have taken over the bodies of the world's most influential leaders and celebrities. These lizard people, if you will, have allegedly infiltrated all of the positions of power in our world, and according to the believers out there, the monarchy is no exception. Now, on to the late Queen. It's no secret that there are quite a lot of people out there who are not big fans of the royal family, and while for some it might just be about an overall lack of likeness towards the monarchy, there are many out there whose hatred stems from a deep-seated belief that everyone in the royal family are in fact shape-shifting lizard people. This all started from some footage that was found online of the Queen, where some particularly strange eyes seem to appear out of nowhere. In the video, the Queen is standing at what appears to be a game of sorts, and then all of a sudden her eyes change to look almost like some sort of crazy demon. Immediately people were freaked out and jumped to the conclusion that it was because she was a shape-shifting lizard, but others blew it off as just her having bloodshot eyes. But just take a look at that for yourself here. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never seen a bloodshot eye that was completely black before. I'm just saying. Either way, it's scary to look at. As you can imagine, this footage did not help the royal family's rep of being from the constellation Draco, and only further cemented the belief that they are all evil lizards. But is it a shape-shifting lizard or something else equally spooky like a demon? What do you think? Moving on to number 4. Katy Perry. From what I have come to understand about the conspiracy race of the shape-shifting reptiles that supposedly walk this earth with us, is that 2 things are very important. Number 1, as we touched on in the last point, is that more often than not, they are a celebrity or a leader of some sorts. And number 2, it is usually the eyes that give them away. Why the eyes? I don't know. Maybe their eyes are the hardest part to control shape-shifting wise, like an angsty teenager that can't help but roll their eyes when their parents ask them to do the dishes. Again, I'm not totally sure to be honest, but either way, there are definitely some strange videos circulating the internet out there with some weird stuff going on in the eyeball region. One of the celebs that people found a spooky video of with some weird eyeball action is none other than Miss Teenage Dream herself, Katy Perry. The footage that brought her into this conspiracy theory comes from an interview she did years ago, where for just a millisecond it appears like her eyes change color from a sort of blue to a green, and just for a second it looks like her pupils turn into slits. Now, let's think for a second. A shape-shifting pupil of sorts is possible with certain substances in your system, and they can also change from larger to smaller depending on the brightness in the room. But I'm not entirely familiar with a scenario that can change it from a round shape to a thin slit-like pupil. Plus, apparently, a calling card of these lizard people is that they all have green eyes in their lizard form. So her eyes supposedly changing to green was seen as proof of her real lizard self peeking through. My question is, does the green eyes thing only apply in shape-shifting scenarios? Cause like, lots of regular people have green eyes. Hell, I have green eyes. Does that make me a lizard person? Would I know if I was one? I would, right? I'm probably safe. Next up, in our number 3 spot, we have Isaiah Carey. Now, of course, according to the theory, there are supposed to be tons of shapeshifters in the high status rungs of the corporate, political, and Hollywood ladder. But, you know, even lizard people have to start somewhere and work their way up, I guess. Several years back in 1995, there was a reporter for NBC who became an overnight sensation after a hilarious video of him swallowing a grasshopper aired during a live broadcast. Initially, people totally fell in love with him because he had such a huge reaction and completely switched up his entire demeanor after he accidentally swallowed the bug. However, not too long after, some people started pointing out that something was a little off about the video, which led to tons of online viewers beginning to wonder if swallowing the bug was an accident after all. Maybe he wasn't just some random newscaster. Maybe he was actually an evil shape-shifting alien trying to ruin your life. Or something like that, I guess. The theory started because what's strange about this video is that if you pay really close attention, it does look like his tongue is actually aiming for the bug, just like a frog reaching for a fly. Not to mention, he has quite a big tongue compared to most people, and it kinda even looks a little pointy. Is a pointy tongue the sign of a shapeshifter? I don't know the answer to that. But either way, after he swallows the bug, he immediately turns away from the camera, and some have suggested this is to hide any further evidence that he was actively shape-shifting at the time. Now, to be fair, I would probably turn away from a camera if a bug flew into my mouth without warning on live television too. But still, the way that it seems he is reaching for the bug is a little bit strange. I don't know, man. Either way, this video is hilarious, so let me know what you think. Evil reptile or just a funny human? Moving on to number 2, a security guard. So along with the monarchy, celebrities, and a newscaster from the 90s, another huge group of people that often become associated with shape-shifting are politicians. People like Obama, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi are often common targets of the shape-shifting conspiracy. But what about all the people who work for them? Could the entire government just be infiltrated by shapeshifters? I mean, it goes without saying that presidents are not gonna really go anywhere without their security guards. And honestly, what do we really know about their security? If there is reason to believe that all politicians themselves are a part of the evil alien lizard race, then wouldn't it make sense that their protection would be too? Well, speaking of, back in 2012, during a speech being made by former President Obama, footage of the audience captured a peculiar looking security guard in the crowd. At first glance, you might just think it looks like a pale, bald dude standing there, but when they pan to the side, it straight up looks like he has no ears. I mean, what is going on here? It's giving Voldemort, if you ask me. Even weirder is when the video zooms in, if you really pay attention, it kind of looks like his head is pulsating, which, truth be told, I have no clue what that could be about, but lots of people have come forward saying it is definitely footage of him shapeshifting right before our very eyes. I mean, would that mean that everyone in the CIA is a lizard person, or just a select few? I want to know how it's decided, what people get to be taken over by alien lizard overlords. Who's in charge of the coordination of these lizard people? Does their leader take over as the leader in our world, and then they put their subordinates in positions below them? Or is the leader back in Draco, handling that side of things, and they have these like agents that travel to our planet and take over our world? I just want to know how it all works. It seems like there'd be a lot of organizing and coordination involved if all the people that are supposed to be lizard people actually are. What do you guys think? And last up, in our number 1 spot today, we have a goat. Okay, so full disclosure, this one wasn't actually caught on video, so I don't have live footage to share with you guys, but nevertheless, I I have to share this one with you because it might just be the most entertaining out of all of these on the list. Now, that being said, if it turned out to be true, my entire understanding what is possible and not possible would absolutely 100% be shattered, which would be obviously terrifying. So I hope this goat did not do what they think it did. In 2009, Nigerian police arrested a goat. Why is that, you ask? Well, apparently they believed someone had shapeshifted into it. Apparently a group of vigilante men came to report that while they were on patrol, they saw some hoodlums attempting to rob a car, and so they pursued them. However, according to their story, one of the thieves transformed into a black and white goat, and the other got away, claiming that the robber had used black magic to transform himself into an animal and escape. Now, that alone is a wild enough story, but remember, the police actually arrested this shape-shifting goat and held the animal / potential robber man in custody for further investigations. Reportedly, the police said, quote, "One of them escaped and the other turned into a goat. We cannot confirm the theory, but the goat is in our custody. We cannot base our information on something mystical. It is something that has to be proved scientifically, that a human being turned into a goat." Now, I have tried very hard to find out what happened to this goat since. Was it released? Did they, make the problem go away? I have no idea. I couldn't find any updated articles, but it may just be the most outrageous case of a shapeshifter I have ever read about. Well, that is all I have for you today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Well, that is all I have for you today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And before you leave, let me know down below what's the craziest shape-shifting footage you guys have ever come across. I hope you have an amazing day, and be sure to keep it spooky. I'll see you next time.